What is up, guys, and welcome back to another Dishonored 2 episode on the
Skooled Zone.
You got schooled, son.
We're going to jump into full campaign mode today, and I'm very excited about that. I wanted to give you guys a week or two to vote on who you'd like me to play for the duration of the series, and the votes are in. I really like how the YouTube poll system worked in the iCard above. Got more votes using that than the Twitter poll, so that means I'll mostly be using the YouTube method for polls from now on. But it's a great democratic way to get you guys a little more engaged. Maybe I'll be doing things like having you guys pick future games or, make decisions in the game, kind of like I did in my last Fallout video. But in either case, it looks like Emily won. She got 53% of the vote from the YouTube poll and 59% of the vote from the Twitter poll. So no need to average them out. You guys predominantly chose Emily. I was happy either way, actually. I'm more familiar with Corvo's moves, having played Dishonored, but I'm always game for new moves. Hopefully I won't be fumbling around too much trying to figure out her powers, but it'll certainly be fresh and exciting. So when we come to that point today at which I choose, I'll pick Emily. Also, I won't talk during the intro. The moment we're free to move around and stuff, I'll work in any cool factoids that may have come up during the cutscene. So, without further ado, let's do this! A long day in Dunwall. This is going to bring back some good memories of when I first started the Skooled Zone. Yep, Dishonored 1, that was my first game. If you guys haven't seen that walkthrough, I wouldn't be offended if you wanted to pause this and go check that out first. In either case, I have a feeling I'll be referring back to that series quite a few times in this series, so just a little heads up.
Why do we celebrate the anniversary of an assassination? 15 years ago, in the middle of a plague that nearly destroyed Dunwall, a paid killer assaulted the palace where I was born and stabbed my mother in the heart. In the aftermath, the men who sent the assassin tried to use me as a pawn in a game of power. They would have succeeded, but my father, Corvo Attano, hunted them down and cut their conspiracy to pieces. All these years later, am I the ruler my mother wanted me to be? Now, we face a new crisis. A monster the papers are calling the Crown Killer has been picking off my enemies and dressing it up like my father and I are responsible. I don't know whether to get on a ship and sail to the opposite side of the world, or to have everyone around me executed.
Watch your step, Majesty.
I'm not looking forward to all the ceremony today.
Your signet ring. There. You're ready.
Thank you, Alexei. Open the doors.
All hail Her Imperial Majesty, Emily Kaldwin.
Loyal subjects, we're going through a difficult time, but today we honor my mother, the late Jessamine Kaldwin. May her memory survive through the ages.
Emily.
You look tired, Father.
Every year, I think the anniversary of Jessamine's death will be easier, but it never is.
I wish Mother was still the Empress. I don't think I'm very good at this.
You're still learning. Don't worry about the rabble-rousers, and we'll catch the Crown Killer, eventually.
People are saying it's you. That these assassinations are a misguided effort to protect me.
No, someone's trying to make us look guilty by targeting your enemies.
I wish I could just run away from all this.
Sometimes you do. You think I don't know about your nights out on the rooftops? Courage. The ceremony will be over soon.
Royal Protector and Father. I should have passed a law against that combination of titles years ago.
Your Majesty, before we begin the day's observances, we have an unexpected visitor, the Duke of Serkonos.
Ramsay says the Duke is bringing special gifts.
That's intriguing.
Grace Luca Abel, Duke of Serkonos!
Mechanical soldiers? Amazing.
What is this, Ramsey? I didn't authorize those things.
Your Imperial Majesty and Royal Protector Corvo Atano, a native of our homeland. Draconis offers condolences on this sorrowful day, and gifts to remind you of our nation, the rising star on the southern horizon.
We thank you, Your Grace.
Save your thanks. For now, I give you the greatest gift of all, family. I present the lost sister of Jessamine Caldwin, your rightful empress, Delilah Caldwin.
Impossible.
My mother had a sister?
My dearest niece, hello.
It's not true.
My father was Emperor Uhorn Jacob Caldwin, and Jessamine was my younger sister. At the time of her death, I wasn't ready to make myself known to you, and I was forced to leave Dunwall. But now I'm home.
If you really are my mother's sister, you're welcome to stay as long as you like.
Little sparrow, blackened by bad memories, I'm here to relieve you of your crown. My father's promise, whispered in secret so many years ago, is now fulfilled.
Watch your tongue. Emily Caldwin is the daughter of Empress Jessamine Caldwin.
Royal Protector. How naive to think you could get away with these murders. Living in my palace has protected you, but that's over. Hear me, all of you. Your rightful Empress has returned.
All hail the Empress Delilah, first of her name. Arrest Emily Caldwin and her father for the Crown Killer murder.
What?
Oh man, it's turning into the Red Wedding. All right. Wow. That's pretty cool how they define you starting over as Corvo in that Delilah took his powers away. That's clever. I was wondering how they were going to figure that out because of the timeline and everything. So we are playing as Emily. All right. I'm excited. Yes, indeed. The votes are in.
I will cast you in cold marble. Sweet girl, over time you'll come to love me. Perhaps someday you'll see me as the mother you lost. But until then, you'll be kept out of trouble.
I'll lock Lady Emily in her chambers, then I'll bring her to Coldridge Prison until her trial.
Framed again and dishonored.
My father lost it all when I was a boy, so now I wear this uniform, and I send 20-year-olds out to patrol the rose gardens instead of drinking with the men from the shooting club.
Captain Ramsey, I heard shouting. Lady Emily, what happened?
That'll be all, Captain Mayhew.
Damn.
So that's the Royal Protector's fancy weapon. What kind of sword folds in half? There's a legend in the Tower Guard about the Empress's last resort, a safe room inside your chambers holding enough gold to buy a good-sized island. And they say that this ring is one of the only 2 keys to exist.
What happened? Alexei. The throne room. Father. Nothing I can do alone. I need to get out of here.
All right, we get to move around now. Actually, before we go on, there was quite a few little factoids there in the intro that I can define for you guys, as we do so eloquently on the Skooled Zone. So they mentioned a signet ring in the intro.
Up in the world, he's old blood, one of the good families. And now that he's helped the rightful empress take the throne, the Ramseys are going to be back in fashion in Dunwall. You'd be smart to remember that.
Yeah, those people are just going to talk in the background. Anyway, they mentioned a signet ring in the intro. A signet ring is a ring with a flat side on top, usually encrusted with an emblem, and that emblem is usually a royal insignia or coat of arms. It was often used to seal documents with the wax. They would basically drip melted wax onto a fold of a letter or a scroll, for example, and then press the signet ring into the wax to create an official stamped seal that was only to be broken by the intended recipient. And Corvo mentioned rabble-rousers. I think I defined rabble-rousers in my original Dishonored series, so I'll include a link to that video if you want. Or you can also just go to the Skooled Zone website and look up any terms that were used in the original Dishonored right from the Knowledge drop-down tab. Like I said earlier, I have a feeling I'll be referring back to that original Dishonored series quite a few times, because some of the decor and some of the little trinkets and stuff that come up will probably already have been defined. But I did also hear him use the term observances in the intro. In the context they were talking about, observances means like a ceremony where law is formally practiced. So it'd be like if the Empress needed to judge a court case for two arguing citizens, which incidentally is how the term court came to be as well. Okay, well, let's take a peek around here and see if there's any goods for the taking. We can spin the globe.
Should I just spin it and pick a place to hide for a while? I need time to think.
Okay, cool. All right, let me crouch. Eat a little food, get our healing back up. There we go. Set alarm. I don't know if I want to do that. Typewriter. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna stand up so I can reach some of this stuff. In case there's any notes. Here's one. Alright, now in the original Dishonored series, I went through the trouble of reading every single book and every single letter, and I learned pretty quickly that's not the most efficient way to make videos when they have stuff to read. So what I'll do is I'll do like I did in Fallout 4 and just, skim through it for any factoids, and you guys can always pause this and read it for yourself, because lots of good backstory that comes in these kind of letters. So anyway, I'll just skim it real quick. Okay, so there's an example of a letter that doesn't have any apparent factoids, but some good backstory. Is there anything else? Can I read? Oh, there is one. Okay. I was like, that looks like a letter too. Okay, I don't know what ISS means. I know in real life that means International Space Station, but it's probably like something Serkono ship. I don't know. So I do know what the advisor is talking about with the smashing of the brandy in the hull. It's called ship christening, and it's done during a launch party. It's a superstitious tradition that goes way back to the Middle Ages, where they would smash wine bottles against a ship hull for good luck, usually as the sailors would pour wine or other spirits over the edge to honor the spirits of the fallen. Same tradition today, in fact, when you see gangsters pouring beer under the ground for their dead brothers. It probably comes from the Christian concept of baptism, which is why it's also called a ship christening. Okay, moving on. You know what? I'm gonna adjust the sensitivity real quick of the lateral movements. No, it's gonna be under controls. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna increase that to like 50%. Should be good. Actually, I'm going to do it a little bit more. Sorry about that. Let's go up to 75. Okay, that's better. I can be like, woo! All right. Hopefully it won't make you guys dizzy. Okay. Just, you know, we want to be able to see something that's coming up behind us real fast. Okay, let's peek through the hole.
These bastards are working with Ramsey and the Duke of Serkonos.
Yeah, it's gonna be us.
Okay, we can't get through there. Can we go through the window? Oh, we can. Nice.
How many times have I looked at that skyline? It feels like everything just changed.
Huh. You guys notice a little vignette at the bottom of the screen? I wonder if that's supposed to be that way. Huh. Makes it look like she's got some tunnel vision. Hopefully that's correct. And not just the settings that I have on there. Either way, what a nice view. God, this is bringing back some memories. It's so cool the way the graphics look familiar, but yet upgraded, you know? It's like the perfect way that you want to create a game. You want to make it just familiar enough, but still looking better than before. Okay, so this looks like somewhere we can hop into.
Delilah is some sort of witch. How is this possible?
Actually, that's a good point. I could be wrong, but I thought Dowd killed Delilah in the Brigmore Witches DLC, you know, in Dishonored 1. Interesting to see how she resurfaced for Dishonored 2. Anyway. Now, one thing I want to give you guys a heads up about is that I will be doing a lot of...
Lady Emily, you're all right. I was worried.
Okay, Alexi, I'll be right there. I was just going to say, okay, I'm not going to play that, but I do very detailed walkthroughs in my videos, especially of games like Dishonored. Cool. Because not only can you grab, like, coins and things like that for spending, but also factoids come up as well. So, I don't know if we have to close these or not, but... I noticed something right here, too.
This won't open without my ring. Ramsey has it.
Okay. Oh, that must be the safe room that he was blabbing about. Thinking we wouldn't get out of here. I don't want to carry those guys. Okay, let's go say hello.
Where's the Royal Protector?
There's a coup underway. My father is... he's imprisoned, for lack of a better word.
You've got to get out of the tower. Through your safe room. There was a captain earlier today, down at the docks, looking for the Royal Protector. Find her. Get out of Dunwall.
Alexi, I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Oh man, that's too bad we couldn't save her. I thought for a second she survived and she'd be like a contact. Huh. Okay, audience request. My ship is called the Dreadful Wale. Well, that's interesting. You might be thinking whale in terms of the sea animal, but that's actually not how it's spelled. Assuming that's not a spelling mistake, then whale spelled without an H actually has other meanings. First, it means the scar or a welt from being struck by a whip. And I think it also means the railing around a ship for reinforcement, like to keep sailors on the ship. Either way, it's probably a double meaning. They did that a few times in Dishonored as well. Throne room. Yes, indeed. Okay. Well, we got a sword now. That's good news. Let's keep on trucking around. Don't want to do that. Okay. Oh, there's a guard there. Okay, let's try the lean thing and see if that works. It does. That's awesome. Is he smoking? Sneak past him for now. Head over here. Okay, I'm still getting used to the sensitivity of the controllers. It's weird playing 4 games at once, guys. Did you see what I just picked up? Those were bathing salts. Let me see if there's some more around here. Yeah, here we go. Here's some bathing salts. I can give you a factoid about that, actually. So, what's the difference between bathing salts and table salt? Well, table salt is actually made up of sodium chloride, and bathing salts are made up of magnesium sulfate, also known as Epsom salts. Other things can go into bathing salts too, like sodium citrate or sodium bicarbonate, which is also baking soda. Maybe some fragrances and stuff like that, but you don't want to go eating bathing salts like you would put table salt on your food. Here's something we can listen to. I actually talked about whether audiographs are real or not in my Dishonored series, so you'll have to check that one out too.
Emily, I know times are hard. You're the ruler of 4 nations, and I won't pretend to understand the pressure you're under. Only you and your mother before you could know what that's like. Whoever's killing off your enemies is doing so for calculated effect. Undermining us. I do know what it's like to be blamed for murders you didn't commit. But trust me, we'll find this crown killer, and they'll pay. Tomorrow is the anniversary of her death. A sad day for sure. But I want you to remember all that's happened over the last 15 years. You've held on to the throne, and you've done what you thought was right for the people of the Empire. You drained the flooded district, kept the gangs in check, and yesterday we launched a magnificent ship bearing Jessamine's name. You're becoming the sovereign your mother wanted you to be, and I'm proud of you.
Okay. Well, sovereign is a fancy word for like a supreme monarch of a land, like a king or an empress if there's no emperor, etc. I believe it comes from the old French word meaning highest ruler. Let's start sneaking and killing. There's that guard. Alright, we're gonna go and assassinate him, which is another thing I should tell you guys. I'm not gonna spare anybody unless it's part of the objective. When I play these games, I'm out for blood. So, in case anybody's like, why didn't you just choke him out? Because it's not my game style, guys. So, if you're not happy with the carnage, then just, find a channel that is going to play Dishonored 2 on low chaos. But we're going for the high chaos. And the worst thing that happens with high chaos, really, is that you just get more enemies attacking you. And once I get a bunch of cool powers going on, that's going to make it more fun, So, also, another thing is that I was wondering why the guards turned so quickly on Emily. I was thinking during the intro, I was like, man, they weren't loyal at all, Like, where was the loyalty? Where was the benefit of the doubt? But they just flipped on her, like, immediately. So that either means that they were in on the plot, or they're just a bunch of black-hearted money grubbers. Either way, they gotta go. So, let's just start taking them out. Oh, gotta love it. Loot.
This shirt reeks. I gotta get a spare uniform.
You know what? Let's carry the body over here. Just in case. I don't think it's going to be relevant, but you never know. Cool. Oh you know what? Incidentally, if anyone watching this in Europe or North America wonders if octagonal coins are real, they actually are. And many are still used today in countries like Chile and India and Armenia, just, you know, to name a few. Make sure no one's going to see us. All right, so let's grab these and keep rolling. Okay, so we can either go down the stairs. Oh, look at all that carnage. Just peeking around here for any goodies. There's a door over there. I think that's going to lead to the room we were started in, but let me just check. Yeah. Alright, so instead of hopping that, we can just go down these stairs. There's the butler.
Something feels wrong.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we got a couple of vocabulary words here. Slipshod means careless or sloppy. And culprit, a culprit is a person assumed of a crime, but not necessarily ruled to be formally guilty yet. In modern day life, it means perps that are sort of in the middle phase between being charged and awaiting trial. Okay, good info there.
Oh, isn't it laundry day yet? Oh, it's gotta be soon. I can't stand my own stench.
Ooh, see?
I think I just saw something.
Okay.
Traitors.
He was still facing our direction when we peeked around the corner. Alright, that's alright. We're okay. There'll be some more food in here, I'm sure. Yep. Nice. Can't take the silverware? Oh, I see. I see. But we found some coinage, though. We don't have a light yet. Sorry if it's dark. Okay.
The throne room blocked off. We should have the time we need. Just stay here and stall anyone who comes by. I'll be back when I've searched the royal chambers, assuming I don't accidentally lock myself in this damn safe room.
We'll cover for you if anyone from the Duke's party returns. This is exciting. Everything's changing.
Yes, the natural order is reasserting itself. The Ramseys once hosted the King and Queen of Morley. Did you know that? I spent my childhood playing with the Buntings and the Boyles, cream of society.
And very soon you'll be back at the top, Captain.
Bunch of sycophants. Is he coming our way? Looked like he was coming right at us. Hey now, I was peeking. I wonder if they can see you when you're leaning in this game. Thought not. Alright, time to get this guy. Okay.
Goodbye, you entitled bastard.
Yeah. It's a little clumsy, but we did our thing.
This won't leave my hand again.
Oh, snap. Focused strike. All right, I'm gonna have to brush up on my combat skills, but here he comes.
You little shit!
Hey, can you really hit me from that far away? Guess so. Okay. All right, good. We survived. I wanted to explore this area. Because, you know, why not? Because we could just go straight to the safe room, but, you know, there's stuff to explore around here. Maybe not. Yeah, blocking doesn't come naturally, but that probably would have been a good move to do. Can't loot any of these guys, really? Oh, there's Pa.
Father, I don't know how, but I'll make this right. I promise.
Okay, so we're probably safe now. I thought there'd be some loot in there. It's too bad there wasn't. But we shall find some food on the way out. That's why I always leave the food intact if I'm not hurt, so we can always go back and eat some if we do get damaged. Like right there. And right there. Very nice. Okay. Is there some in here? I think there was some in the other room, but we're good to go. Okay, so let's open this bad boy up.
Anton Sokolov made this lock.
Sokolov was that scientist guy in the first Dishonored. It's cool they brought back some of the old characters.
I spent so many nights in here after the rat plague.
Seems safe. Let me just double check. Oh, Imperial Seal. Got a little achievement for that.
I better take these.
Some bullets. Oh, there's the gun.
I have a feeling I'll need these.
Oh, that's slick looking. It's our telescope. Can we take the mask? So, oh, cool. I got it. It's all coming back. All right, so let's check out some of these books real quick. And some of these newspapers and stuff. May have read that one already. Yep, read that one already, but...
The Crown Killer must be connected to all this, with the Duke and Delilah.
Cool. Well, at least it triggered a clue. This book seems familiar. I wonder if they recycled some of the books from Dishonored 1. That would make sense. Now, I did talk about what Scrimshaw was in Dishonored 1, so you'll have to check that out. Talked about greenhorns, too, and salty dogs. Oh, yes, that's right. This is a repeat book. Okay. That's not. Let's find part 1 first. It's part 1 and part 2. Oh, look at that. Wonder if I can drink water and... No. Not like Fallout 4. There's part 1. Okay. take all this stuff. I don't need to do that, but I'll eat those. Awesome. Okay, so he mentions here white leaf tobacco. White leaf tobacco is actually a type of tobacco called burley. And I don't see any other factoids, but it's interesting. Is this like her boyfriend or something? Maybe we'll meet him later in the game. Talked about a hookah in Dishonored 1 as well. Nice.
Old Samuel made this. I'm glad he didn't live to see me driven out of Dunwall Tower.
Talked about dolls. I talked about a lot of this stuff, actually. Hope you guys don't get annoyed if I'm not just referring you back to Dishonored 1 for the views. I mean, if I've already covered something already, why waste time with it, you know? Talked about figs in Dishonored 1 as well. So, let's see here. What's that? Oh.
Emily, my daughter, I know that one day you'll be grown up, and I wonder what you'll remember of these years. Will you recall your time as a child with fondness? Or were there too many caretakers, formal dinners and lessons about boring old history? Maybe the precious hours we spent together will shine brighter. Time captured now and then with your mother and with Corvo, who was always close to my heart. I hope the season of rats and plague will be nothing more than a passing shadow on your early memories. A crisis come and passed, weathered by your mother and her advisors. You'll sit on the throne someday, and will do well, I hope. It's a tricky life, full of responsibility and peril. It was not your choice to be the daughter of an empress, but I believe you'll rise to the challenge. Stay good-hearted, Emily. Keep drawing and telling stories, and only share your power with those you truly trust.
If only I could talk to my mother one more time.
Well, that was interesting. I was actually preoccupied looking at this map, so if any factoids came up in her little chat there into the audiograph, I'll put a pop-up for it. But yeah, I think this game takes place on Serkonos, whereas the last game took place on Gristle. That's a cool map. I wonder if the collector's edition of Dishonored 2 came with that map. That is awesome. So we'll probably be heading to each of these cities at some point. Okay, let's read this. Cool. Little backstory about Corvo. Where was the other one? Nope, it was over here. Where was it? There it is. Okay, so regicide means the killing of, like, royalty, aristocracy. So that's what regicide is. Following the... Okay, I actually don't know what that word means, so I'm going to have to put a pop-up for that one. That's an interesting one. But yeah, other than those two, I don't see any other factoids. But if you guys see any factoids that you think are worth schooling, then I definitely encourage you guys to leave those kind of things down below in the After School Club. All right, well, let's check out these two. Number one. The Void. I showed you guys how to get in the void in Fallout 4. That was a fun little quirky video to make. And then part 2. Lakes of liquid diamond. That sounds intriguing. Okay, so let's get on out of here. Oh, not yet. Let's grab some of this stuff. I see a safe. There's all our, oh, I remember that piece of artwork from Dishonored 1. That's cool. Is this a book we can... Nope. Okay, let's open the safe.
The reserves won't help against Delilah, even if I had a way to carry it all out of here.
Wow, is that solid gold? Holy cow. Here's an interesting question for the After School Club. How much do you, if that was a big chunk of gold from the relative size that it looks like it is, you know, you see footstools and books and stuff, how much do you think that would be worth? We'll say in American dollars. That is an interesting question. Okay, let's see if we can grab any of this stuff. Well, there's a gold ingot. Actually defined ingot.
I'll need this.
In one of my Dishonored 1 episodes. Okay, I guess that's all we can grab from here, but ain't complaining. Oh, we're getting ready to head outside. Okay. Well, this is probably a good place to end it. So we will head out into Dunwall streets in the next episode. That was a lot of fun. Actually, you know, sometimes I'm just really in the mood for exploring stuff and getting to know the backstory of a game before I start diving into all the combat. Plus, you know, I think what I'm going to do on my own time is go back and replay this mission and just get into a fight with a bunch of guards to try to get a little practice with blocking and stuff so things aren't quite so clumsy in the next episode. But once we start getting powers, then I'm just going to whip them all with powers. But until then, you got to go with the hardcore combat. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. That was a lot of fun. I can't wait to start diving into some of these missions. In the next episode, I'll show you guys some of the menus and journal entries and, you know, take a look at all that stuff before we start the next episode. But in the meantime, make sure you hit that like button, show me you want more. Subscribe if you haven't. What are you waiting for? You get awesome gameplay, plus you get smarter at the same time. Can't beat that kind of added value. And of course, it always helps when you guys share the video around. Getting those new eyeballs over to the Skooled Zone is going to help grow the channel. The bigger it grows, the more chance I have to make this full time, which means more videos per week. Instead of being stuck right now trying to juggle with my day job in addition to playing 4 games at once. But in either case, I'm so happy you guys are tuning in and you're loving what you're seeing so far. So keep watching. I'll keep making the quality videos. And on that note, we'll see you next time on the Skooled Zone. Stay smart.